Welcome back to 10 Island Gaming. Tonight we have a matchup between Beastmen and Dwarves. This is my 2400 point Beastmen army with a Swedish comp score of 18. It is led by a Doom Bull. He has heavy armor and shield, and then also Dragon Helm. Next to him we see Orcs, the Brass Bull, with his standard equipment. I can't modify him. And then following for the hero choices, I have a Gore Bull. He's the battle standard bearer, heavy armor and shield. He's also carrying the Iron Curse icon and Obsidian Lodestone. I then have two Bray Shamans. They're basically the same. Laurel Beasts, level 2, both of them. One has Chalice of Dark Rain and the other one has a Dispel Scroll. For core, 2 units of 5 Ungo Raiders, and then 1 Gore Herd with 18 Gores with shields. I also have 5 chariots, Tuskor chariots. Moving on to special, I've got my big unit here of 9 Minotaurs. I just have a musician in that unit, nothing else. And then 1 small unit of 5 Harpies. For spells, I picked Vissans for both of my Bray Shamans, and then I have Pan's Impenetrable Pelt on one, and the Amber Spear on the other.
It's my Dwarf army. They are led by a Runesmith. He has the Master Rune of Gromril, Rune of Spellbreaking, the second version, and then he also has a Great Weapon. Then I have another Runesmith. He has the first level of Rune of Spellbreaking, otherwise naked. 2 naked engineers. And then my Thane, BSB, he has the Rune of Stone, and he carries the Master Rune of Grugny and a shield. For core I have 25 warriors with shields, full command. 28 Longbeards with shields and full command as well. Then I also have 1 cannon with Rune of Forging. A Grudge Thrower with Rune of Penetrating, 2 Gyros, 1 has Vanguard, 27 Hammerers with Master Rune of Valaya. For rare I have a Flame Cannon, it has the Rune of Burning and Rune of Forging, and lastly 1 Organ Gun with the Rune of Accuracy. We're doing Swedish comp and I have a comp score of 12. And the scenario we roll up is BATTLELINE. In the movement phase I moved up the gyro here, and the other gyro I moved back. Now it's on to shooting phase. In the shooting phase the organ gun did 3 wounds to the chariot over there. The Grudge Thrower missed, and the cannon did 1 wound to a Minotaur in that unit. Now it's over to Beastmen turn 1.
Beastmen turn 1, I just basically rushed everything forward. I need to get to his guns. Charged my Gore unit that was here into his gyro. He decided to hold, so then I couldn't charge with anything else because then it would fly away and I would have wasted that charge. So now my Minotaurs are stuck here. On to Winds of Magic and yeah, shooting. For Winds of Magic I tried to cast Vissans Wildform twice but failed the first and then expelled the second. And then we did close combat just because it was a short turn. My gore unit didn't do a wound on Gyro, but he fled because of combat resolution, and I caught him, got 9 inches forward. On to Dwarves, turn 2.
Turn 2, I moved up the warrior block slightly and moved the Gyro over to this flank. Otherwise I just do the dwarf thing. Now it's over to shooting. Turn 2, in the shooting phase I killed 4 gores with the grudge thrower and did 2 wounds to Minotaur, so they lost 1 guy. Now it's over to Beastmen turn 2.
Beastmen turn 2. I charged my gores into his dwarf warriors there, and then everything else moved up as much as I could on all sides. On to Winds of Magic and shooting this time. End of Beastmen turn 2. In the magic phase, exactly the same. Failed to cast the first of his sons, and he dispelled the second. So that meant that this combat was lost by me, the Beastmen player. I lost with 2 in the end, but I managed to stay. I was down at leadership 6. On to Dwarfs, turn 3.
Turn 3, I only had 1 movement, and that was the Gyro. He's gonna make a bomb run over the Ungors. Now it's on to shooting. By the way, last dwarf turn, my opponent used Chalice of Dark Rain, so my organ gun and the flame cannon couldn't shoot. This time, however, I did no wounds with the cannon, but I did 3 wounds, I think, with the grudge thrower. I also killed the chariot over here. With the bomb run, the Gyro killed 4 Ungors, and over here, the flame cannon killed 3 Harpies. Now it's over to this close combat over here. Close combat, we did 1 wound each, but I won because I had 2 ranks more. He fled, I pursued, he popped through his unit, and I only rolled 3, so yeah, prime target for the Minotaurs. Now it's over to Beastmen turn 3.
Beastmen turn 3. Movement. Charge the Minotaurs into the warriors. Rally the gores. And then I actually managed to get a really long charge with my chariot into his flame cannon. Joined by the Harpies, the remaining 2. Everything else on this side kept moving up. And I moved my solo Ungo Raider here to block a potential charge from the Hammers or Longbeards? Longbeards. On to Winds of Magic. For Magic Phase, I got a better wins this time, 11 dice. 4 dice Visans, he did his normal Rune of Spellbreaking, so that was dispelled. And then I cast it again, 4 dice. He tried to remove it, but failed, but it was also dispelled. And then I didn't have enough dice to get anything through. On to close combat. End of Beastmen, turn 3. For the combat here, I killed a whole lot of dwarves, but not all of them. And they fled, and for some reason dwarves are faster than Minotaurs when they flee, because I only pursue 1d6, so yeah, I move forward 3 inches. And then down here, the chariot and the Harpies killed the flame cannon. I overcharged with the chariot off the table to get out of the charge arc here, so he comes back in my next turn. That was it for turn 3. On to Dwarves, turn 4.
Turn 4, I rallied the warriors here, moved up the Gyro here. The engineers went out of the unit behind the cannons. Changed formation here, not formation but direction rather. And that was everything. Now it's on to shooting. Shooting phase, the organ gun managed to kill a chariot over here. The cannon killed 2 Minotaurs. And over here the combined efforts of the grudge thrower and the flame cannon from the flame template from the Gyro killed like 4 of the gores. And yeah, that was everything. Now it's on to Beastmen turn 4.
Beastmen turn 4. I charged out with Taurox out from the Minotaur unit to get the cannon. It killed enough last turn. And then just moved them forward and aligned them so I could charge and overrun into the grudge thrower. Over here the chariot came back onto the field, so I'm blocking that charge with my Harpies. Everything else moved up here. And then I pivoted my few remaining Gores towards the gyro. Onto Winds of Magic and shooting. For Winds of Magic, I got off one Visans onto the Minotaurs, protect them from the organ gun. Then I tried to cast a large or big version of the Amber Spear into this, but he dispelled it with his dice. No shooting, so we go on to one close combat down here. And that was a quick close combat. He killed the cannon. On to Dwarfs, turn 5.
Turn 5, I charged the Longbeards into the remaining Angor. Swift reformed here, so the Minotaurs will charge out of the Grudge Thrower. Charge the Gyro into his remaining Gores and Shamans. And then also charge the Hammerers into his Harpies over here. Yeah, that was everything. Now it's on to shooting. Complete. The Grudge Thrower missed off the mark, and the organ gun only managed to do 2 wounds to this chariot. Now it's on to the close combat over here with the Gyro and Gores. I won by combat resolution by 1, and he fled. I pursued and caught him. The combat over here with the last Angor I overran, as you see, and the same here. Killed the Harpies and overran. Now it's up to Beastmen, turn 5.
Beastmen, turn 5, movement phase. I charged in with my Minotaurs. That was the only charge. Well, I had a charge here with the chariot, but it was a failed charge. I couldn't pivot around the hammers. I wanted to charge the organ gun. I'll get a few shots in my face. The general here, Orcs, moved up to take the Grudge Thrower in my last turn. Positioned this chariot also for the organ gun, and then backed off with the Raiders and the other chariot. They can't charge into these units alone. On to close combat. The Minotaurs killed off the remaining Dwarfs. The Dwarfs killed 1 Minotaur in return. And that was it for close combat and Beastmen, turn 5. So on to the Dwarves' last turn of the game.
Turn for Dwarves, my options are limited. I moved up the Engineer to block Taurux here. Then I moved up the Gyro here, moved the Longbeards out of this combat, potential combat with Taurux. Here I tried to charge the Hammers into his Angors, but he fled. And with my short legs I didn't catch him. Otherwise, yeah, I'm just standing still and I'm going to shoot. Let's go to the shooting phase. Last turn for Dwarfs, I missed with the Grudge Thrower, and with the organ gun I killed the Chariot who stood here. Now it's over to the last turn for Beastmen.
Beastmen, last movement phase of the game. I charged the organ gun with my chariot, and then Taurux charged into the engineer that was blocking the Grudge Thrower. We don't have any more wizards and no shooting. Nothing else really matters, so we'll just go straight into close combat and then wrap it up. Also, I failed to rally my Ungor Raiders, so they won't count in the end. End of turn 6, end of game. Taurux killed the Engineer. And then the chariot killed the organ gun. And that was the last thing that happened. In the end, Beastmen won by 300 points, including the 600 bonus for comp score. So it was a very, very even game. Yeah, I don't really know what to say. It was fun. I don't think we've ever played Beastmen versus Dwarves before. It's always scary the first 6 rounds of the game when he has a lot of shooting. But then when you get in with the Minotaurs, it helps a lot. Yeah, hope you enjoyed the game and see you next time.